Hello, YouTube. Welcome back over to Gaming House. And I got Kevin with me today. Say hi, Kevin.
Hey.
Kevin's dead inside. So we got our Destiny 2 impressions from what we've seen from all the reveal play and all the YouTuber footage that we could, find and want to view. Because I'm pretty sure there's more out there I just didn't view because it's probably from like lesser channels or channels that expect like Jack Frags' videos about it. And I don't think Jack Frags actually cares about Destiny at all until it was on PC. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to start about the story. The story is taking place with the Blood Legion, which is a faction of the Cabal. They invade the last city, and they seal away the Traveler's Light, causing the Guardians to lose their powers. And we're pretty sure after the hinted first mission there that they're probably going to kill off our character from Destiny 1. And what they're promising with the new campaign is that there's going to be more cutscenes, more NPC interaction, a actual story, quote unquote, there. Looks like also story-wise, Mercury and Venus might be destroyed. There's a scene in the gameplay trailer where they have some kind of device hooked up that's either drawing power from the sun or drawing from the core of Mercury or some other planet. Pretty sure it's Mercury and Venus, and that causes a chain reaction that causes both Mercury and Venus to blow the fuck up. For the enemy factions, it looks like the Cabal and Vex are taking more of the front, whereas in Destiny 1, it was the Cabal that were like the least seen of the factions, whereas everyone else kind of had equal screen time. But it looks like Cabal and Vex this time with the Fallen and Hive taking more of a backseat. No word on Taken, I believe. And there's also no word on the Reef, Iron Temple, and Dreadnought.
Yeah, but I'm assuming the Iron Temple is not going to be there anymore. I mean, if the tower was taken down, they claim it was the last safe place on Earth.
Yeah,
I'm just going to assume the Iron Temple is not going to include it either.
You would think the Iron Temple functions more, stupid phone, would function more like a outpost instead of like a bastion of safety. Kind of like the Reef Outpost, which again is also not mentioned, which is by Saturn, and one of the new areas is by Saturn. So it's like, actually no, is the Reef by Saturn? I don't remember. I know the Dreadnought is by Saturn.
The Reef was in the asteroid belt, wasn't
it? Yeah, asteroid belt. That's where they were.
That'll be closer to Jupiter, so that might be close to Io.
Yeah, but the Dreadnought, I'm severely curious about the Dreadnought, because the Dreadnought is like dangerous. Because remember, there was a strike mission that if the core went up, it would take out the entire fucking solar system that we were in. So I don't know. Maybe we'll learn what happens to it if we decommissioned it or something.
Not gonna lie, I would not mind the Dreadnought being there. The Dreadnought was the most fun I had patrolling in Destiny 1.
There's all the nooks and crannies.
Yeah, there was literally shit hidden everywhere.
Well, luckily the next discussion is patrols, and they're obviously changed a lot of that. Do we want to talk about anything else story-wise, or we would just move right into patrols and exploration? So there's not really much else to talk about, because until we actually get hands-on, they're not going to show us any more of the story or anything else. We just got to learn it on our own to get hands-on with it. So patrols and exploration are getting a little reworked. As far as we know, ships are still loading screens. They obviously got some new ship designs out there, but it looks like that's what they're for. I haven't heard anything else. I'm pretty sure there's not going to be anything else like ship combat or anything else people want for their ships. I'm pretty sure it's still loading screens. We got 4 worlds to explore. That is, we're on Earth again, except we now get the European Dead Zone, which was into that in a Crucible map. We have Io, which is a Jupiter moon, Titan, which is a Saturn moon, and Nissus, which is a new world that is pretty much Vex controlled. So it's kind of going to be Venus 2.0.
It's Nessus.
Is it Nessus, not Nessus? I think I spelled it right. I just pronounced it wrong.
Yeah, it's spelled right.
Okay, yeah. I think when I changed it, because I think when I originally spelled it, I put 2 E's in instead of 2 S's. And I fixed it. We apparently can choose our landing zone now, so that we can get around areas we want to get around faster.
I think my favorite part about all of the patrols and exploration is now you don't have to go to orbit. So I can go from Titan to Io without having to go to orbit by using the map.
Nice. That is nice. They cut that out. Of course, that's the new thing they put out. It's also not just that. You can also activate missions and strikes and everything all from the map, or just going straight to the destinations. Right? Because they said that you could travel to the actual locations and trigger the missions there. I did hear that right? Okay, that's pretty dope. That's correct. They're apparently going to have a new side, along with the regular repeatable patrol missions, the shit you were used to, like resource gathering. We're going to have adventures, apparently, which is going to be a new type of side mission, probably getting from NPCs. at the various outposts and possible safe havens we have in maybe social spaces. I'm not sure if they're going to have more than one at launch. Definitely the one that's going to be on Earth in the European Dead Zone. We're going to have Lost Sectors, which is apparently going to be these little mini dungeons. I'm not sure how good those are actually going to be or how difficult they will be. But apparently there'll be a boss, there'll be a loot chest in there, and of course get more loot. We covered that, and it looks to be patrolling is still only 3 players. That's the only gameplay they show us with 3 players roaming around. I'm not sure if they increased that to 6 like people wanted or not.
Well, going along with the patrols and the explorations as well, public events are now going to have heroic objectives as well, making them, they might actually be worth doing.
I actually skipped over that part too, is we have a map now on top of all that. And so now on the map also is going to be where the public event's going to take place. So we'll have a timer and a countdown to like when it'll actually happen. So no more trying to go off the third-party sites that were always like 5 to 10 minutes off.
Dude, those third-party sites sucked.
They did. I mean, they gave us a general direction, but yeah, they in general sucked. They were not very reliable. But that's pretty cool. Yeah, no clue what the heroic objectives will be, but they'll be something to hopefully push us to do more, and hopefully, like they'll let maybe it'll cancel out those last minuters that just happen to show up. Like, oh, the boss has like a 10% health left. So glad you fucks like 3 people could show up at the end just to like get one shot out of it and get full rewards.
So true. That's me as a person. I do that.
I'm not saying we haven't done it. It sucks when we're on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, but a lot of times I do it. I'm the only one that's there, and so I'm like,
yeah.
I'm in a patrol by myself. I don't have a fire team with me, and so it's like, well, I don't want to fight them by myself. So somebody else is there, I'll definitely stop in. But other than that, I'm skipping the event. It's not worth it. The loot, there's no loot drop really.
True.
And so hopefully the heroic objectives actually make it worth stopping and doing a public event.
Hopefully I do. Anything else you want to add to Patrols and Exploration?
No, thoughts? I believe that is it.
Do you, hold on, I want to talk about this a little bit more. Do you think I know I touched upon it, do you think they're going to have more than one social space at launch?
Probably not. I don't foresee it. That's probably going to be like, that'll probably be something like a DLC is going to bring in a new social space like the Rise of Iron did with the Iron Temple, and then when the Reef came in as well.
Perhaps true. But then again, we don't know what these outposts are. I don't think they really mentioned outposts a whole lot, or did they use the word outpost at all? Because we know they're supposed to be quote-unquote outposts, but I don't think they really made any mention at the reveal.
Actually, now that I think about it, the outposts that are run by the NPCs, that might be there might technically be a social space.
Yeah. Thinking back on it, I remember in the gameplay that was revealed, at least in the gameplay trailer, so there's a cutscene with Zavala talking with Amanda Holiday, and I'm assuming our Guardian on. What's he on? He's on Titan, right? Yeah.
Let's just talk about Amanda Holiday for a second. We should just have our own separate section for her.
Really? I didn't think we were going to talk about the NPCs that much. We can fit that in before we talk about the other section. What do you want to talk about Amanda Holiday and all them about for?
She looks good. That's all I'm going to say.
She's bae? Are you saying she's bae?
All I'm going to say is, man, she comes and picks me up. Like, I need a ride, and I'm like, hey, yo, Amanda. And she there. So.
It is nice to see all the other usual people. At least most of the usual people. We know the Vanguard guys are coming back. Shax, I believe, is coming back. And we don't know about anyone else. We don't know where Lord Salbar is, Ephrodite is, Eris.
I just like the fact that they're actually giving, characters like Amanda Holiday, who have had a name the entire time, but you never really used her for anything.
Sparrow Racing? Thing you didn't play?
Never did Sparrow Racing. I took a very long break from Destiny.
Chaperone quest? That was her quest.
The quest sucked.
It sucked. The shotgun was a little cool until it got nerfed.
The shotgun sucks.
All right.
It's terrible. Like, I wasted time going through and doing that quest.
Okay. Fine. Fuck it. We're done. On to strikes. You ready to move on to strikes?
Yeah, let's move on to strikes.
On over Amanda Holiday some more.
God. Go ahead. Keep going.
All right. So what we know about strikes, they only showed off one strike that they let the YouTubers play. So there's a bunch of those videos out, of course, that everyone could see. And it looks like this one they had a Vex one, so it looked like they implement. I can use words, more mechanics or scenarios in the boss fights. Like this boss fight was a 3-stage fight where he switched up his elemental damage, also the scenario and abilities, where he was able to actually heat up the floor of the map, part of the map for, I think it was the final or second stage. But it looks like they're trying to make them more than just simply where most of the year one bosses, they were just simply bullet sponges with like one or two techniques, but it was still just their core was they just took a fuck ton of bullets to kill.
See, when I watched that strike and the end of that, when the floor was heating up, it reminded me a lot of Prison of Elders.
Yeah, where they also tried to implement a bunch of like abilities to the bosses to like change it up.
And I think it's awesome. Just running strikes with the normal strikes, like Valsaric's not fun. You can easily run through that. Like, I wouldn't mind strikes being considered mini raids where you do have mechanics and you do have to actually have teamwork to get through. One, it's going to make people better when they have to work as a team in a raid. If you just go through and do strikes. Two, it just makes it more fun.
It does.
Simple as it is.
Some other things that we noticed about strikes. There didn't look to be a loot chest at the end there. So not sure if they X those out or if they just simply implemented now the bosses will drop their strike-specific loot, at least, or if they've done away with strike-specific loot, because in the old Destiny, there were certain weapons and gear that would drop from bosses.
Yeah, like that stupid Darkblade helm that I still haven't gotten.
You still haven't gotten that? Dude, I've gotten like 10 of those.
Gotten that.
Feels bad, man. There's apparently going to be Nightfall passes. I saw that in Dotto's video. He pointed it out that there's apparently Nightfall passes, and that makes me wonder if
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, we don't know either. It was just one of those things that, like, people catch and they mention, and that's what he mentioned. And of course, noticing it, but the video showed like the person had like 10 Nightfall passes, so we're not sure if now we can run Nightfall strikes as much as we want, as long as we've got passes and constantly get rewards. So it's not just a 1 week per character thing, or if they amped up. Or they brought back the old way Nightfalls work, where if you die, you restart it, and now you need a Nightfall pass to keep trying to attempt it. Who knows? That's all. This is all speculation.
Nightfall passes. That sounds kind of cool. I mean,
we have to wait and see what they do with it. I mean, I'm fine with either way they implement it. I gotta see what they do with it. What's the purpose? How do we get them, etc. Because you could hold up to at least 10.
All right, well, Continuing on.
Nothing else we want to talk about strikes?
Well, I'm just hoping that... See, I don't know how Bungie would have done this, how they would have handled it. But did they show us their best strike or their worst strike? Because I like the way the strike was set up. And honestly, if the other strikes suck compared to this one, I'm going to be a little pissed.
I think it's fair and safe to say that this is probably not... that the other strikes are going to like match up at least, or be somewhat. It depends. We might get definitely like one or two that we hate, or have like.
But dude, I'm going to be honest. I could see Bungie being very lazy and just having the same type of mechanics for all the raids, just switching out the bosses.
Yeah, I could. And what you're saying, you're hoping that like not all the bosses like, all these bosses have like a 3-stage thing going on or something like that.
Yeah, I hope they're different. I hope each boss is unique and they're not the same. But you know what? I could see Bungie making them all the same. Yeah.
Well, it's funny because one of them PlayStation exclusive strikes that we got that had like mechanics and everything implemented. We just never got to play it on Xbox because that was the Taken King, or no, that was the Iron Temple's exclusive one. And we never got it.
Maybe we should buy a PlayStation.
No, refuse.
I thought about it.
No, you would. We'll get to talking about that later. Anyway, moving on to PvP. I am not the biggest PvP player, so if I skip out on things that all like 5 people that might watch this are seeing, sorry, but PvP in Destiny for me has never been balanced.
I actually enjoy PvP, but I can't play it because of you.
Fuck off. I'll do it. I'll do it occasionally, but it's peer-to-peer shit that sucks dick because Activision doesn't want to invest in dedicated servers ever in their life. And let's face it, PvP is not the most balanced thing for Destiny. It was never balanced. It's the most balanced as it is right now, but even then, it's still other shit edges out.
It's gonna get much better, I think, in Destiny 2 because you have it mentioned here. It's moving to 4v4.
Well, because I haven't actually got into it now, which I will get into it now. They're gonna have new modes, etc. All modes are now 4v4. Trials, it used to be 3v3. That's all 4v4. The other big game modes were 6v6 and all that. None. It's all gone. It's all going to be 4v4 now. The time to kill is longer. Supposedly, that's going off of the impressions of the YouTubers where like hand cannons took a little bit more headshots to kill, etc.
I don't know if that's true. I was watching a lot of the PvP gameplay, and it doesn't seem like time to kill is longer. It only seems that way because it's impossible to get power ammo. One person on your team is going to get power ammo, and that is it. And so you have your auto rifles, your scout rifles, your hand cannons, sidearms, which are still going to be, they're not going to be power weapons, but you have those that are being your primary weapons that are being used, since most of the time you're probably not going to have power ammo.
Yeah.
And so that's why people are going to be alive a lot longer.
True. Also with PvP, Trials is apparently, it's confirmed not coming at launch, but will be coming later. So
and you don't actually know what Trials might be.
Yeah,
I was watching Professor Broman's stream, and he said, Trials is probably not going to be the same thing, but it's going to be the name of the end game PvP content is probably still going to be Trials. It just probably won't be the same as what it is right now.
Which is fair to assume. I mean, this is a new game; they're free to work around everything.
But it'll still be called Trials.
Also. If the other earlier thing is confirmed, Mercury blowing up, no more lighthouse. Sorry, no more lighthouse to go to. It's gone. They blew it up.
The place sucked anyways. It's too bright.
Oh yeah, must have been nice going there twice. Dick.
I mean, it's your fault.
I was disconnected. The game disconnected me. It was their error code, and it counted as my loss. Bullshit.
Jank ass Wi-Fi you got rolling through.
That was Ethernet cord. Fuck you. Other things I didn't have in the notes here. No word on Iron Banner. No word on Sparrow Racing or anything like that.
Iron Banana better not get canceled because that is the only time I enjoy playing PvP the entire fucking week.
True. I like when light levels matters, except for when we get masters. All the people that should be playing it.
Light level should matter in PvP. It should.
Yeah, weed out all the scrubs.
While we're here in this area, I don't think Iron Banner and PvP regular Crucible should give you max light level gear. I think it should only be Trials because that is your end game PvP content. I think it should just be Trials and the Raid that give you your end game max light level gear.
Well, no, you're right. Yeah, regular PvP did drop scaled gear.
Mm-hmm.
But another, since this partially ties into it, we work the rewards of PvP better. If I'm placing number 1 in games back to back, I should be getting fucking legendary gear, not the guy in fucking last place. That's why I hated playing PvP. All right, I would go fucking number 1 and shit, and like, oh hey, you get nothing, but hey, everyone in the bottom 3, all of them just got fucking legendaries, and a guy in the losing team on their team found a fucking exotic. Fuck me, right?
It's really stupid the way that works. It should not be random. I think you play well, do good, you should get the best reward on your team if you're number 1.
But that's our speculation. There's been no talk about that. Actually, I haven't watched enough of the PvP gameplay. I'm not sure if they showed rewards at the end of there, if they got rewards.
Looks pretty cool. Like that new game mode that's like Search and Destroy actually looks sweet. But the one thing I don't like about it is that the radar is there. I mean, it's a Search and Destroy mode. You have 1 life. Get rid of the radar.
That's right. I didn't watch too much of it. I know you can revive each other though if you manage.
Yes, you can.
It works. It's that function.
You can revive. But at the same time though, get rid of the radar, or at least give me an option to play a game mode like that without the radar, like a hardcore mode.
Oh, that'd be nice if they did support that because we didn't get any. There were no game modes, right, that didn't have a radar, or was there one?
There was one. I can't remember what they called it. It very, very rarely showed up. I don't remember what it's called.
Anything else we want to talk about PvP about? Because I, of course, don't got a whole lot to add. I said my piece. Fix the fucking loot. I'll play PvP more. Maybe less quests that involve me going back and forth, too. Fuck that shit.
Ooh, that would be one thing that be. I'm not sure if they mentioned this or not, but some of those quests where they make you go back to like, okay, when you would complete one objective, go back to the tower, and then you're going right back into PvP. Let me just complete it from my menu, and then I get the new quest, so I don't have to leave the lobby and come back. That's a waste of like 10 minutes.
That's a good thing. I didn't have that in a note.
Especially when Joe sits there and gets beavered all the time. Half the time you can't even get into the tower.
All right, I'm sorry that I did something that pissed off the beavers in Destiny and then kicked me out of the fucking tower all the fucking time.
Like that's just a pain in the ass, and it would honestly, you could get so much more done in a night. Especially if you're limited on the amount of time you can actually play in a day. Cuts down all that time. You can get a lot more shit done.
But who knows? They might have done that because remember they did mention, especially with the reworking how traveling works, that they wanted a more streamlined experience. So you're not going to orbit as much. So maybe they did fix up the quests and everything that we don't gotta sit there and keep going back and forth. Go to this place, talk to this person, and then go back to doing what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah, it just seems like I feel like they're still gonna make it that okay. I'm on Earth. I'm in the European Dead Zone. I'm gonna have to now travel still to the tower. They just cut out going to orbit first.
Can't go to the tower. Tower's gone.
Whatever the fuck they're gonna call it. Whatever the social space is.
All right. We're gonna move on to talk about subclasses now. I don't think we got much more else to add. That's not just speculation. So far, everyone kind of has two confirmed subclasses besides the Warlock. We don't know what class they are bringing back or adding to them. We just know of Dawnblade for them. And that was the only one. That's the only one of the new classes that YouTubers actually got hands-on with. Titan, the Striker returned. That's been reworked now when you activate it. It is now a roaming super, so you can roam around and fist a Havoc multiple times or do kind of a shoulder charge. That
thing is going to be dirty in PvP. Like, I'm honestly going to be terrified if I turn a corner and there is just a lit up Striker Titan.
I'm excited.
I'd be like, nope, hard pass. Hard pass. No, I would definitely main a Titan if I got to keep my bubble. But no bubble means Warlock Master Race.
Fuck you. Fucking Warlock Master Race. And speaking of that, apparently the one that has replaced Defender Titan is now the Sentinel Titan, which is these basically, everyone's just calling it what it is. It looks like Captain America's shield. It can block attacks. It can also be thrown for attacking. We're not sure how much damage it can mitigate or block because they didn't get hands-on with it. We don't know its perks and everything else that it has. Hunters kind of got shafted with the new subclasses because Gunslinger returns, and they have this new one called Arcstrider, which is basically Blade Dancer 2.0.
Dude, but the thing is, though, how can you say it is Blade Dancer 2.0? You don't know the perks to it. You don't know anything to it. It could be awesome. It could be nothing like Blade Dancer.
What do we see of Arcstrider? What does he do? Activates his super? Goes around and hits people with a staff. What does Blade Dancer do?
Hardcore parkour.
Super, goes around and hits people with his fucking
hardcore parkour
sword blade thing.
You telling me the Blade Dancer is doing backflips and shit as he's going around hitting people with the sword?
Is the end result the same or not? He goes around and hits people with his super.
If that's how you're gonna say it, and that's your logic behind that, then the Sentinel's pretty much the same thing as a damn Defender Titan. You're blocking attacks.
But you can't attack when you're using your
I'm just saying, you're blocking attacks.
I feel like you're oddly defending Arcstrider a lot. I don't know.
I am. Because I think it's going to be different than an actual Blade Dancer. I could be very wrong. I could. But at the same time, though,
they didn't get hands-on Arcstrider, so we don't know what perks they have. We don't know what it could be modified to do. They gave him Gunslinger. We'll take a minute and pause real quick. I don't know why they didn't let him play the new subclasses or give him the option to, because that just seems like a total waste. They're like, no, this is what people want to see. People want to see the new shit.
Okay, because you want to know why. It's because, okay, if I'm them and they don't have a chance to go look at the Striker or the Gunslinger, then, most people are just going to assume it's the same thing.
Well, they could have given me the option to play as both.
No, they're going to reveal too much information then. That's just stupid on their part. They want to keep the hype up.
please. The hype's already there. The
Shut
odd
up.
amount of hype. All right. So I will stop talking about Arc Strider because
It's
we
gonna
don't
be
know enough
different,
about it.
dude. If it was the same as Blade Dancer, they would have just kept it called Blade Dancer. Let's be honest, man.
All right. Well, I will hold.
They kept Striker and Gunslinger the same.
Yeah, except Gunslinger now can have like up to 6 shots, and Striker has obviously been reworked where now I can roam around. It's not just. It's no longer going to be called strictly Fist of Panic anymore. All right.
I mean, it's still going to be the Fist of Panic. You still initially Fist of Panic.
Yeah, but then I'm stuck Fist of panicking everyone
Yeah,
else.
the difference is now I can do 4 quick Fists of Panics. Now what's going to happen? Clearing out a room.
If you got the trample one, you could still keep going. The more people you kill, the more it keeps going. And let's talk a little bit about the Dawnblade then. The Dawnblade is pretty much replaced.
It's going to get nerfed.
Props. It's replaced Sunsinger. It is now in a offensive super. You get this fire sword that starts launching projectiles, pretty much like the arc bolt, except much better. And you can do it on the move anywhere. No self-res though, so that's gone. Bye-bye self-res.
Let's just talk about how much people are going to struggle in the raids now because they use that self-res as a crutch.
They did. And then honestly, it's a good move by Bungie because honestly, self-res was what got around several things, i.e. Crota was the big one of the self-res getting around several Crota's shit. Like the bridge. You use a bunch of Warlocks for that, everyone climbs out of the area or dies, and Warlocks get self-res. But yeah, that'll be interesting to see now if that's gone. But along with these new classes and everything now the actual classes like Warlock, Hunter, and Titan now have a third ability besides melee and grenades. Titans can lay down a wall that has 2 versions. The first one is kind of a waist-high wall that instantly rolls weapons when you duck behind it, which I'm glad Dado pointed this out. We apparently had the ability to peek over like waist-high cover this entire time, but no one ever used it in Destiny 1.
Wait, time out. That's a thing?
Yeah, that's apparently a thing. If there was like waist-high barricades that you could crouch behind, if you like aimed when you near me, you would actually peek over them and shoot. But no one ever did that. No one ever did it.
I was just winning guns blazing.
Yeah. The other version of that is it's basically like slightly taller, a little bit taller than the actual player, and it's like twice as large, so it's meant to like kind of block off areas of fire or areas of denial, pretty much.
Now, can you shoot through that?
I don't think you can because no one showed off shooting through it. So I think it is strictly like it blocks everything. So it's meant to like just be a wall between you and yourself, either to start, say if you're using the extended one, it's meant to like last minute kind of a one side bubble where like, all right, now I get to sit here and recover some health while it's blocking all the fire. I don't remember. Did you see any gameplay where people are able to actually walk through it either? I don't think people can walk through it. It's like a straight up wall.
Yeah, no, not that I pay attention. That's probably why they said you can block off doors.
Yeah, so it is a straight up like nothing gets through this. This is a straight up
Dude,
wall.
Could you imagine 4 Titans in that new game mode and they can just block off a room with that thing?
Yeah,
you
it would buy a little bit of time
and just block off that room.
Crazy. Some pro strats. You heard it here first. Warlock, which Kevin mentioned earlier, is pretty much replacing Defender Titan with the ability they get this ability called Rift, which they can either lay it down and it causes constant healing, or they can offer a damage buff. So basically, full on replacing the Defender Titan's role as a support role on top of getting an offensive super with it. The key difference, obviously, is there is no bubble. You are still going to be shot at, and obviously the effect only lasts when you're in the rift. If you wander out of it, the effect stops.
It just seems like even with the healing rift, it's more like an armor of light type of thing.
I already saw in like comments also that like a lot of people are saying, so if you combine this with like that waist high Titan thing with like the damage buff and all that, you could be sitting there doing 20% increased damage, ducking behind impenetrable cover that's instantly reloading your weapons. So I like that because that's opening up a lot of team play. And Hunters, I don't think you get shafted here. You get Shade Step, and Shade Step was always a cool ability. I never actively used it unless I put on the exotic helmet because there was other perks I'd want to use instead of it. But you
Really,
get
what
shade
other
step.
perk did you want to use?
I always used extended radar with it.
Why? It
I like
literally
my extended
doesn't
radar.
help you at all unless you're
Does when you're
searching
hunting
for
resources.
chests.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
Anyway, well, I don't remember the other ability of the shade step, but one of the abilities is to again instantly reload weapons when you do the shade step. Do you remember what the other ability was by chance?
it's the one where if you're close to an enemy and you shade step or you move away, it automatically recharges your melee.
Ah, dope. That's what you guys get. If you don't know what shade step
Which
is for whatever reason, it's like you basically do a back roll, but you go invisible when you back roll, and it gets you back like 2 feet or so. It's really good for like dodging gunfire that's coming in like too hot. And
I don't know. I don't foresee the whole melee recharge being very cool. I mean,
yeah,
if I'm going to
use
use it, it's going to be for the ammo reload.
Yeah.
I mean, think about using light machine guns with that perk.
Oh yeah, it's gonna cut down that reload time. It'll pretty much like you could if there's another. We didn't get a chance to look at perks. And that's in the next section, gear, that we'll talk about that a bit more. But you could like opt not to go for the quick reload ones if you use that form of shade step. You want to opt out for other perks that'll increase like range or something. For the skill trees of classes, only the melee and jump have different options. Oh, and grenades. Why did I had grenades? Why did I get rid of a grenade in there? But those are the actually no. It's grenade and jump have different options, not melee. Melee is like doesn't get anything added to it or changed to it, so it's just a standard melee or throwing knife or.
All the jumps are the same as they were in Destiny 1, right?
Jump. Yep.
Nothing has changed in those.
Nothing's shit. Well, I'm just saying those are the only things you could like swap out. The grenades are also the same as far as we know. I think a couple of them got reworked. For instance, the lightning rod one that
thing actually looks sweet now.
First off, it does look cool with the new effects, but also if you notice, and I forgot who mentioned it first, it does not start off shooting off the lightning bolt. It does like a quick like warning flash first, and then activates it kind of like the hunter grenade. That's like
looks like that trip mine grenade when you're about to run through the trip mine grenade, and it gives you kind of the warning. And then you quickly shade step out of the way so that way you don't get hit by it.
You and your fucking shade step. Also with these, we're starting to get into more speculation combined with this. With each subclass, you get to choose between two sets of 4 passive perks, and they are more centered around obvious focus. The examples I had wrote down because I didn't bother to go through every single one of them is Striker has Coded Juggernaut, which has a bunch of melee-focused perks. And the other one they're able to have, they didn't have the name for it because I think Coded Juggernaut was the one that was forced unlocked for everyone. The other one is focused more on super and aerial attacks. These can both not be active at the same time. So you only choose between one set of 4, the other set of 4. And it's more streamlining, speccing out characters. I've seen mixed reactions to this. A lot of people liked it where we were able to kind of mix and match our abilities, change them up on the fly, instead of kind of being like set amount of roles, such as the melee focus. Any thoughts on the passive perks and everything like that, Kevin?
Nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing until we actually get like hands-on. As far as I know, we are able to swap between them both. Don't know if we are or aren't. I'm pretty sure we are, because that'd be a really stupid ass move if we couldn't.
I like the fact that it doesn't seem like it's going to take nearly as long to level up subclasses like it did in Destiny 1.
Well, it depends, because you're not getting them through the regular way. You get them apparently from something that I don't know what the material is called, but it's called, I think it was just literally called.
It's like the ability only. Yeah, it's like the ability unlock or whatever it is. I know what you're talking about, but still, like, one of the worst things ever was trying to level up. You know how often I deleted a character and created another one.
It's awful.
I'm not going to do it this time. I'm going to one of each, and that's it.
One of each and committed?
Committed.
It was awful.
Committed. But no, like, it was terrible. It took so long, and especially once you got up to 3 to level up. It's ridiculous.
All right. I got nothing else to add here. Are you ready to move on to gear? Talk about what we've seen from gear?
Yes.
All right, for the gear, first off, with everyone's demo and all that, apparently the devs locked the detail button, so no one was able to see like perk and upgrade trees for both clothing and weapons. I don't know why they did that. Out of the dicks, and I'm going also back with your shit that they didn't want to reveal everything because I don't think I have it in my notes because I forgot to put it. Also, on top of like the usual perks weapons we'll get, there's also apparently going to be mod slots for weapons, and we don't know what that's going to do because there's no details about them, and no one had mod slots.
Yeah, the crazy thing is now it could be either cosmetic or it could actually affect your gun. And so now you're thinking, okay, there's a whole lot more you can do with each one of these weapons if you can add a different type of mod slot to it. And it's not just a cosmetic look. That'd be awesome. I'm full chub.
Full chub. Want to see what we do with that? Weapon loadouts.
I'm so excited for this game.
Oh god. I know we are. Watch us get disappointed somehow. Still, actually, no, we're probably gonna be fine. Destiny was our most played game of probably ever. I think out of all my games, it's my most played.
There's shit to do every week.
There was. Anyway, weapons
let's be honest. I still don't have a Vex.
You have a new Vex.
Okay,
Change that. He's gotten a Vex. He's gotten a Vex Galhorn in one drop. All right, so don't believe this motherfucker goes getting shafted and shit.
And the best part was I already had both. Like I got a Galhorn and a Vex in the same drop, and I already had both.
Fuck you.
I felt bad when I dismantled it. I think Andy wanted them both.
Did. Weapon loadouts, though. Now that I'm getting to this. Stop cutting me off, damn it. Weapon loadouts are being reworked. They are no longer primary, secondary, heavy. It is now kinetic, elemental, power. Kinetic has scout rifle, pulse rifle, auto rifle, hand cannons, sidearms, and SMGs. Elemental has the same options. They just have elemental damage on them. This allows you to, say, rock 2 hand cannons, one being kinetic focus, and the other one could have elemental, like Solar Void or Arc on it.
Come on. Who would rock 2 hand cannons?
That's the example I'm using. That's what I'm
saying.
Let's
be honest, man. You're going to rock a scout rifle and a hand cannon. Perfect combination right there.
Pretty much. Considering that power weapons have sniper rifles, fusion rifles, shotguns, LMGs, rocket launchers, grenade launchers, and swords.
Yeah, that's going to get really I don't know what I'm going to use. Like, I like rocket launchers, but I feel like if I rock a scout rifle and a hand cannon, it might cut down the need that I actually need a shotgun or a sniper.
Yeah.
And so I can rock a rocket launcher or an LMG.
And it also depends on what they rework for damage and how everything works. Obviously, went through tons of weapon balancing.
Especially when I get that dubious volley.
Can't wait to get to talking about that.
Oh, that's on here?
It's down there. It's in the portion that is cleverly labeled ball busting.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
I see that.
We'll get to that. But, damn you. But that is definitely interesting. That's also got mixed reactions. A lot of people are kind of upset about the whole sniper rifles being lumped in power weapons. A lot of people brought up counter arguments that when Destiny was first revealed, sniper rifles were actually power weapons then, before they reworked the entire game in a 6-month time. But it'll definitely be interesting to see what we have, depending on damage models, what weapons people want to rock. Especially since now, obviously, the quote-unquote primary weapons are now going to be like a heavy focus of what you're going to be using in battles. Intellect, discipline, and strength are now gone from the game, so you have flat recharge bonus recharges against all of it, except for revealed from some perks that were not upgraded, that gear can increase class ability recharges. Armor and recovery and agility are still in. However, you do not get that through your subclass now. You instead get it through the armor you wear. So your certain pieces of armor will be spec'd out, I think, for 2 perks. I don't know if there'll be anything that gives you all 3, but they'll be focusing more towards either armor, recovery, or agility. And with a secondary one, providing not as much, but a little bit in also one of those categories. What are your thoughts on those both intellect, discipline, and strength going away, and now armor, recovery, and agility going on gear, Kevin? I know you talked about this earlier when we tried our first take.
Well, I don't like it. I liked having intellect, discipline. I didn't really give a shit about strength, I'm going to be honest. But I liked being able to work my intellect and my discipline for certain occasions in different PvE areas. I know the biggest issue with it's definitely probably in PvP, and that's why they reworked it. But at the same time, I know doing the challenge mode at Templar and Vault of Glass, I ran Relic, and I like to have my discipline all the way maxed out. So, I sacrificed intellect and strength to have that tier 5. So that way I'm getting my grenade charge back, so I have the shield for when I'm standing on the teleport.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, like, I don't know if that would last long enough if everything was the same, unless it's all, technically tier 5. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I guess we're gonna have to wait and see exactly how much it's affected. But from what it seems like, it's probably not all going to be tier 5.
Yeah, and again, also it's tied more to the gear now, where the pieces of armor, some will or some will not have the ability to increase the recharge rate. So we'll have to see what the default rate is and see how much, of course, gets increased when per piece of gear you got that increases the recharge. Which might be, because how many pieces of gear do we wear? Is it 5 or 6 that affect that? Because that could represent your
intellect
tiers.
and discipline, intellect, discipline, and strength.
But no, that's. Oh yeah, well, quote unquote, yeah, that would affect. It affects all
So
of them.
you've got obviously you've got your helmet, your chest, your gauntlets, your legs, your class item, and your ghost.
Okay, that's 6. I don't know. Maybe it depends, because I was gonna say if it was 5, then that'd be. It depends if the ghost has the ability or not. If the ghost doesn't have the ability, then that's 5 right there. So that could represent your tiers. So if you got a helmet, chest piece, and gauntlets that have it, then that'll get you that tier 3 recharge. Maybe. Who knows? Because again, no one had that unlocked, so we're not able to really tell. And yeah, I got nothing to say about that stuff. Wait, that's again another thing we gotta wait till we get our hands on.
Which I'm assuming more of this stuff is going to be revealed at E3, and then we'll get the beta after E3.
Straight up.
I still want to go to E3. It's on my bucket list.
Bucket list of paying a hell of a lot of money to get tickets to the place, and then standing in lines for hours.
Hey, if you're wondering, Ian Kinsler just hit a home run. I'm excited, but continue.
Sports talk. All right, we're getting into more of the miscellaneous shit, and also some of the PC news. This is pretty much shit I couldn't really figure out anywhere else. Apparently, it looks like, this is assuming, max level at launch is going to be 20, just like it was for Destiny 1. Max light level is going to be 200.
Gonna be honest, I don't know if I agree with the 200 max light level, because I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere somebody had higher than that.
Yeah, it could be wrong or not. That's going off of the footage I just saw. But
I did see it, that's the footage from the strike, right?
I'm not sure. I can't remember. I saw a bunch of people's. I think I just paused on one guy's video and decided, like, wait, no, let's look over here real quick. I saw that he was light level. He was level 20 and light level was 200, with all his gear being 200.
I think it was Eric's video.
It might have been maybe
that I saw where he was high. Oh, there's a swords video that I need to still watch.
There's the sword video. Which apparently confirmed or not confirmed. We could talk about. We'll talk about it later. Maybe when we get dubious volley or not and shit. But Ray's lighter is in that video. It's not like being held, but Shax has it.
Never got a Ray's lighter.
Yeah, that's right. That was the one you never got, because you had to do that annoying shit quest for it. You were at the annoying part. I forgot what you had to do for it. Oh, you had to get the kills in Crucible, a bunch of 200 kills.
No. I just had to. At that point, all I had to do was go through and get all that shit out of the chests on.
Oh, get the random drops from the resources.
Yeah.
Which you did not have time for.
I just didn't want to.
Anyway.
I know the Ray's lighter is really good, but I had the
Dark Drinker.
No, oh my god, I can't remember the name of the Iron Man or the Rise of Iron one. I know I have the Dark Drinker. Yeah, can't remember the name of it.
Gunwolf's Howl.
Yes, that one.
That one. You could apparently use exotics at a lower level. They used to be, you would have to be max level, say you would have to be 20 to use it. Instead, there was footage that showed that it could be used at level 14 for the Sunburst one, or whatever it was called. So some might be, they might be locked at level 20, or they might be able to be used sooner, but it's no longer, you got to be max level to start using legendary and exotics and shit. Interceptor tanks return, and also we got this new big ass tank that they showed fuck up a Goliath tank, but we don't know how much damage it actually did to the Goliath tank. It just came in and did a final shot on it. You want to talk about vehicles at all, Kevin? Anything you would like hope they see, hope they add?
Hey man, I just saw somebody hop into a big ass tank. Kind of excited about that because I like tanks.
I do that. I am still hoping we see some form of fucking multi-seat vehicle. This is fucking Bungie, the same people that brought us like the Warthog and all that, like infamous co-op vehicles. And everything in Destiny has been a one-seater so far.
Well, I mean, you think about it, and all you need is your Sparrow.
Bitch, I want to roll up in a fucking Jeep with some kind of 50 cal on it, patrolling goddamn Dead Zone.
Yeah, well, I don't want you in my Jeep, so fuck off. Sorry, that escalated quickly.
That was mean. That was mean. Hurtful. All right, move on to the next thing where we actually got good stuff to talk about. It's about clans and guided games. Clans are now being implemented in the game. They also have rewards for playing game modes. So if you have a bunch of people in your clan and everyone's playing a whole bunch of different shit, because of course, big clans, not everyone's going to play together because, you have either 3-person matchmaking, 4-person matchmaking, or the raid being the max, now 6. But if the clans participating in like Crucible raids and everything else, they're going to have drops happen that's shared amongst everyone in the clan. The rewards, let's be honest, are probably shit, more than likely. But who knows? They might have some good stuff dropping it. It might be random loot. They also have guided games, and that's pretty much clans can set up game modes that if they're looking to fill, like, say, one more for the raid, they can try to set it up, and solo players can try looking for these said games. The thing we like to laugh about is it was all centered around pretty much like clans are supposed to be like the pillar of Destiny, and they're supposed to be like the shining example of positivity and all this other bullshit. It's not. It's not going to play out that way. It's going to be... This is like a lesser form of LFG, and let's face it, people online are toxic, right, Kevin? Toxic and useless.
It looks like in one of the gameplay reveals, they had 260 as a light level.
Okay, so that 200
and that was
light
in the
level
first mission, I think. So
Milo is bullshit then.
Well, we don't know. I mean,
we don't know
it could be higher than that, but it's going to be at least higher than 200, probably higher than 260.
Yeah, I want to ballpark 300 then. I don't think they're going to take us all out to 400 again.
No, probably not.
No. Yeah, I want to say maybe 300, and that could have been them like hyper leveled. For all we know, it could be 200 for like regular gear we find, and then you got to start doing raids and other shit to get it past 200.
True, or you got to grind out the strikes for a little bit.
Anything else you want to talk about clans, guided games? I like that they're added.
Everybody joined the Big Ol' Fun Bags clan.
Big Ol' Fun Bags.
We're always looking for new members. We'll accept you all.
Will we, though?
All 5 people that watch this video.
Yes! You lucky 5. Dude, that Big Ol' Fun Bags.
No, that's about it with the guide games, I think, for me at least.
Yeah, there's not much else until
I gotta see how it works. In all honesty, I mean, because it just, I'm very skeptical on it. I'm just gonna be honest. There's a lot of douchebag people that.
Anyone that knows of Destiny's LFG will know that, particularly, it is arguable that Gallahorn got nerfed because of the requirements on LFG, where they would not let anyone in for the year 1 raids unless you had Gallahorn. Which admittedly at the time was the most powerful heavy weapon, but also the raids were doable without it. It's just everyone was assholes and went the easy way and said pretty much, no, unless you got this, we don't want you.
And like that's the worst part. And I foresee some poor solo player, some guy who is going to join one of these clans and he's just going to continuously get kicked because, one, he's probably never done the raid before. He might know how to do it from watching YouTube and Twitch, but at the same time, until you actually do it, you're not really going to understand the mechanics that well.
Yeah. Disclaimer for us, of course. Are we saying that every clan and every like matchmaking thing is going to be shit? No, there's probably going to be a definite like few, and then those will probably be the ones people go to, of course, that are going to be like, all right, you go to these people here. If you actually, they will take the time, they will tolerate your stupidity and trying to learn something new. But at launch. No, you're not going to know who those people are. It's going to be a slight shit show, and basically you'll have people that'll get like kicked and etc.
It's one of those situations
like, you never did this? All right, fuck off.
there's certain Twitch streamers who should, create clans, which if Bungie was smart, they would up the limit on how many people can actually join a clan.
Was there a limit announced? Or
Broman said that you could only have 100 people in a clan. And I don't know if he was just speculating on that.
Was he ballparking off the last one? Because I think that was the limit for Destiny 1 if you did it for doing it online. I think the limit was 100.
Yeah, and so it's just one of those situations where I know like Say No to the Rage, Lono, he has all of his subs. There's a whole LFG on Discord. That there's a lot of people that actually help you carry you through raids, or they'll teach you how to do it. So we're not saying that every clan is going to be toxic and they're going to want everything done the right way, but at the same time there's going to be clans
there'll be
that are going to be toxic. And I think one of the easiest ways to avoid a situation like that is to allow those big streamers to have their own clans for their community, because those are places where you can go and they're going to be helpful.
Yeah, which again is something that'll get probably rectified, and these pillars that they want will be there, but they won't be there at launch. No one's going to know them. It'll probably be like a month or two before everyone realizes, like, all right, these are the guys that like you look to.
Because I know I struggle. I mean, I know we struggle finding people all the time, and I don't know. I want to see it actually in action and see how it goes before I speculate more.
It's definitely something we want. It's gonna help people like try to like get into the late game shit, like the raids. So that'll be nice. Another thing, I'm skipping down on my list here, Kevin, to talk about Grimmer real quick, because it's more fitting towards this stuff. We don't know if Grimmer is in the game or not. For those that don't know what Grimmer were, that was the quote-unquote story that you didn't get in game that you went on and read, and if you read it all, it actually had like a lot of like cool lore and shit in it, and there was no mention of that if they're going to implement. First off, if Grimmer is going to be still be there, or if it's going to be
going off of that. I actually did. There's rumor that the lore is actually going to be implemented into the game now, so you're not going to have to go to Bungie.net to read it.
Okay.
So the lore is still probably going to be there. Not sure about the Grimoire score or any of that stuff.
Well, I'm the only one that cares about Grimmer because that was the highest one of the group. Over 5,000.
I'm pretty sure I'm over 5,000 as well, sir.
I don't know about that.
Well, go check right now. Continue.
Here we go. I'll start talking about the PC then. PC, it is, of course, coming to PC. Some of the details I don't have down here is at least going to be allowing 60 FPS. It apparently has an uncapped, actually. And it's going to have field of view.
Pretty sure it's capped at 60.
Is it? I heard it. Everyone's saying that it's technically uncapped.
I don't know. I heard it was capped at 60. But then again, no specs have really come out for the PC yet. So I mean,
you are going to get it through BattleNet, not Steam. I do not play enough on PC to be the choosing. I know a lot of people love Steam, so I'm not sure about the default or hating towards BattleNet and all that shit. But apparently, what I do hear about BattleNet though is they are really good with their anti-cheat system. So that's at least a good thing.
That's probably why Bungie is choosing to go through BattleNet, not Steam. Because I mean, let's just think about what happened with the Division and how big of a train wreck that was.
Oh yeah, and Call of Duty. Call of Duty is infamous for getting like when it gets an age, it's full of just nothing but hackers and shit. Just all available through Steam.
I don't think it's a bad idea. I'm honestly probably I'm hoping there's some sort of if there's some sort of save between Xbox and PC. So like if I'm playing on Xbox, like the anywhere play, you know what I mean? Which I know there's probably not going to be.
There's not going to be.
But
there's
you know
too
how
much
awesome that would be
because there was a
even
rumor.
Even if I had to buy another copy for the Xbox or for the PC, I would. Because I have a lot of I know a lot of people who are getting it on the PC because I'm pretty active in some Twitch communities. And I know one person who is going to be playing it exclusively for a while, so I'm kind of hoping that's damn it, I'm not over 5,000.
Suck it! Also, some unfortunate news, and this is what might disappoint a few people, is PC technically does not have an official release date. So it may not be coming out September 9th for PC. It might come in
It
later
was
date, but
it
it is
was
not confirmed.
rumored. It was rumored that it's going to be a December release date, which just seems a little ridiculous. 3 months after console gets it, that's going to release on
As much as I love to make fun
PC.
of the PC elitism and all that, that is bullshit. Getting just randomly the game like 3 months later,
But
especially
at the
since
same time, though, they
they
want to
were
make
able to
sure
play it.
I'm pretty sure they're going to want to make sure that everything is like good to go with it before they throw it on there. Because I mean, you know, the PC community is anything's wrong with your game.
Yeah, they hate when they're the code when they get it ported over to them. If it's bad, they're like, oh great, we got another fucking console. The PC port sucks. It was a fucking console game.
And
We
so
like to make
they're
fun of
gonna
that. We're
want-
all gamers, but we like to poke fun, of course, of the tropes and everything that is in gaming.
Dude, I don't know, man. I want to play
What?
it on the PC so bad, but all of you guys are getting it on the Xbox.
Yeah, because that's where all our friends are, Kevin.
I have a PC that can run it, and I want to play it on here. It would look
Mine
so
could
much
probably run it too.
better.
Yeah, that's what everyone says. All right, we get it. PC is better in a lot of ways. We get it.
Dude, you know how
Get
much
it.
nicer the Division looked on PC as compared to Xbox?
No, because I didn't play it on PC.
It was awesome. Like,
Oh, fuck you. Nothing else that though. We do hope. I personally do hope you guys get it the same day. Just because I am a
It
gamer
won't.
and
it won't come out on the same day.
And if it does come later, I hope it is at least fully polished then, so that you could say like, all right, we did get a later date, but it's fully polished, it's fully functioning, it's not like skipping, stuttering, dropping frames left and right. We all know PC lovers love their frames. They do. Admittedly, though, if I was exposed to 60 frames all day and then stuck with 30 frames, I'd probably be upset too. But I grew up on consoles, so I'm used to 30 frames my entire life. Besides like 1 or 2 console games.
One thing I don't understand is that like the Xbox One and the PlayStation are definitely capable of running it higher than 30 FPS. So why cap it?
Apparently,
And especially with the
speculation.
PS4 Pro and the Scorpio that is going to be releasing, they definitely can run it.
This
Why
is
can't it?
speculation. I forgot whose speculation was. But they mentioned that it might have been Sony that was more concerned about making the game sure that it could run at 4K, and they are more concerned about getting that because, of course, the PS4 Pro, they definitely want to push that model out now. And that the big thing about the PS4 Pro, the only thing that has going for it is it's 4K. So it was Sony who's got like.
Well,
If I choose to do some editing, I might edit in a clip here that describes that because this is also covered in the ball busting area about Sony, but they have a lot of decent amount of say in Destiny and Activision's affairs because they got the content deal going on right now.
I hate that content deal so much.
Good, fuck it, we're jumping into it. We're jumping into ball busting. This is the ball busting section where we get to like put some brakes on the hype train, talk about some other things that are kind of bullshit, and we're gonna talk about that because that's the first thing on this list. For those that don't know, this is confirmed because there's promotional art saying this. PlayStation still has a year-long content deal with Destiny. For those that don't know, for you PC guys that like didn't bother playing the rest of this or whatever, PlayStation has a year-long deal where they will get a strike, a map, sometimes a mission, which is just a throwaway mission, sometimes some crap gear, but they will also get an exotic or two. And that content will not come to PC or Xbox for 1 year at least. We do not have content from the Taken King still on the Xbox currently. That was 2 years ago.
Yeah, Hawk Moon took too long for me to get it.
Yeah, Hawk Moon was awesome. God, it was so good when we finally got Hawk Moon. But be aware of that. That is still going to happen. This year-long PlayStation deal, because they really want you to play on PS4 for that ultimate experience. Destiny 1 took forever for balancing the PvP. They might be better now, but changes to the balancing in PvP, weapons and shit were overpowered for months.
Yeah, let's just get used to when those changes do come, it's going to screw up everything for PvE as well.
That is also the next point. I hope to God they finally put up a barrier between PvP and PvE changes, because Kevin and I both know this. We've both been playing since year one. A bunch of changes they did to PvP ruined a lot of fun in PvE. Changes to auto rifles that made when they first did changes to auto rifles and made them worthless. They were
auto rifles. It wasn't even worth using one.
You'd better off meleeing than using your
yeah. Well,
Those
okay,
were those
I
were
take that
useless
back.
in PvP. Well,
I take that back.
that's a slight exaggeration.
High
But
rate of fire, low impact auto rifles were garbage. You had to get a high impact, low rate of fire auto rifle. And it's all because of Suros.
and even then, that was the one time they did the change really quick, and then it was everything else.
And then
forever.
it took forever to change it
and
back.
pulse rifles reigned supreme forever.
Thorn.
Forever they reigned supreme.
I remember the good old days with Thorn.
But hopefully they put up a barrier this time. Obviously, they did change it to subclasses that kind of fucked them up too. When Titans finally got their fucking awesome Sunbreaker class that finally fucked shit up, that got nerfed.
I got nerfed fast too.
I got nerfed fast. We had our time. Fuck you, fucking gunslingers and shit.
I don't know, man. I never enjoyed it as much as you did, anyways. I'm a striker Titan because I like my lightning grenades, and then any PvE content, I'm always running defender.
But hopefully they put up a barrier. That's all I'm hoping. I hope to God they made it so that changes there will not affect here, because obviously the other things that are like not class based or damage based was also ammo. Ammo that got nerfed. We started carrying less heavy ammo. We started carrying less special ammo. All because PvP, it was overpowered. And now, getting into the Dubious Volley and some other exotics we're going to talk about. The Dubious Volley is an exotic, so cool, as far as I know. First off, yeah, it does look cool because it's an exotic rocket launcher as far as we know. However, we have known about it since the Taken King because it was in their database and it got leaked. So we have known that this weapon has existed for at least 2 years now. So that does raise if you're one of those paranoid people that likes to rag on cut content and all that, this might be a case of that. We're not sure what they're going to cut. It was kind of very arguable what was cut from when Destiny had to get reworked, and they went through losing like half their staff and shit. But that's a heads up there. And we didn't talk about before, but I'm including it now in the bubble section. Backtracking to the 4v4. We don't know why they changed that, other than obviously making it easier for themselves. And apparently this quote-unquote competitive league that is in Destiny that we didn't know existed, that Destiny had a competitive league.
I don't think it's a competitive league. It's the competitive
players. Competitive players, yeah. Quote-unquote. Because that's
which it makes sense,
they would do.
There's a lot. Dude, competitive players, a.k.a. the sweaties.
The tryhards. The super tryhards.
Yeah, the sweaties.
More tryhard than me.
You're not try hard. Come on. Actually, I take that back. You get real aggressive sometimes.
I do get aggressive. All right. You know what? I do play games for fun. You know what's fun? Fucking winning. I
don't know, man.
But I can't think of a justifiable reason other than Bungie's own personal choice of just making every game mode 4v4. There's no reason to limit the multiplayer of it, in my opinion, going from a 6v6 in some modes down to 4v4 and all.
Well, I think they might be hoping to, have less issues, less peer-to-peer issues if they cut it down to just 8 people. Which doesn't
work. If you still have one motherfucker that's fucking with his Mexico connection, that's what we just call it. All right, it's probably someone actually in China or some shit playing with a fucking 300 goddamn ping in actuality.
That's all I can think about.
But if there's still someone with a really bad shit connection, it's still going to affect the entire lobby. And they'll probably still go positive somehow. When I have a bad day with bad connection, I get fucking shit on.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Anyway, that's it for that. There was something else I wanted to mention too, but I don't remember what it was.
Microtransaction.
No, not that. Other exotics we're not sure are returning, but we've seen. I already mentioned Raise Lighter. Shax has. Ace of Spades is Cade's gun, but we got it in Destiny. There was.
I don't think Ace of Spades never made it to Xbox, did it?
No, I have it on my Hunter.
Oh, it did make it?
Yeah. It was a gunsmith quest line, I believe.
I don't think I ever did it.
Yeah, it was the exotic for hunters. You can only use it on your hunter. You know how? Like Titan's got that exotic machine gun, auto rifle.
The auto rifle.
Yeah.
That,
and I forgot what Warlock's got. Oh no, they got Talak.
Talak.
The Mida that's not a Mida.
I forgot. I never really.
That's because it was hidden. It was secretly overpowered, and I knew about it, and several others knew about it. And I'd be one of those guys that comments on posts about that. What about the Talak? Shut the fuck up! Don't let them know about it. Because when you get your supercharged, that was its ability. Every like stat increased on it. It was basically like a Mida multi-tool, except like slightly better.
So why not just use a Mida multi-tool?
Oh, well, that's because they nerfed it down to being only like the same level. It used to be better than the Mida multi-tool.
I don't know. I never got any of those exotics outside of the Titan one because I mained my Titan for that entire thing.
Also, an NPC was obviously holding the No Land Beyond. We're not sure what exacts they're going to bring back, if they choose to bring any back, but obviously the weapons exist within the game and can be used by NPCs.
Man, I hope the Twilight Garrison makes its way over. I really like it. I'm going to be honest.
Oh, that's an ability of the... I don't think it is, because that's an ability of the Warlock. The Warlock Dawnblade has that ability. That ability to dodge in air.
All right, so Warlock Master Race. Everything I like on my Titan right now is moving to my Warlock. So simple as this. Don't have to worry about it.
All right. And the final thing I got for ball busting, it's microtransactions that Kevin led into earlier. Microtransactions were already in Destiny 1. They came at a later date. They will more than likely be in this because Activision has a huge hard-on for microtransactions right now because people keep buying them. We are all guilty of this. We're all so guilty of indulging the microtransactions. At least with Destiny's you lying sack of shit. There was that day we all spent like $20 at least. Fuck you.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, when you think about it, though, it's all cosmetic. Yes. It's not affecting me whatsoever. I was getting ready to say
that too. The microtransactions here are all cosmetic, unlike Call of Duty's. These are all strictly like armors that you have to infuse to get up because they all start off at a low level. But they all
start off at 3.
Yeah. Cosmetically, though, they are dope as shit. Like, I love Chroma Gear. I love me some Chroma Gear. Give me some fucking...
I don't care for the Chroma Gear. I buy the microtransactions really for exotic skins, essentially, for my guns.
True. All right. But that is the last thing we have to talk about. Unless you got anything to add to this section, ball busting, slowing down a bit of the hype and everything else. Obviously expect a grind. I'm not expecting that to change. There's probably going to be a huge grind this game. I doubt that has changed at all.
I would honestly be upset if it did change because that was one of the things that kept me going in Destiny 1 was the constant grinding, the constantly finding better loot, and I enjoy it. Like, dude, how long did we spend farming those chests when House of Wolves was about to release? Yeah.
Oh man. We spent a lot of time. We found routes. There was one on Venus where if you got a correct route, you could hit that chest up 3 times.
And
everyone thought the max was 2. Nope, you could hit it 3.
It's kind of ridiculous because we spent a lot of time grinding that, and what does it give us now? Nothing.
Remember the loot cave?
Oh, I do remember the loot cave. That was a good time.
Good times. That's enough reminiscing, though. Do you got any last minute thoughts about Destiny 2 or anything?
No, I'm super excited.
I am also super excited.
So I'm just, I know I took off a couple of days of work, just one, and then the weekend.
Yeah, I work weekends. So I took the day off.
I forgot I took my Helmut Stain 14 off.
Oh, Kevin's actually playing a game right now. So whatever footage you're actually seeing is actually just footage I got, by the way, because I can't sit here and focus and play the game at the same time. We tried that. That was the first take. Did not go well.
You also didn't have a script because you're an idiot.
I do not apologize, and he is not wrong.
If we had a script, it would have been different. You know how off topic we got? Worse than what it was today.
Worse than it was today. We were a lot better today. The video is at least an hour long.
Hour long?
Yeah, dude. We've been talking for an hour and 8 minutes. 9 minutes. Anyway, like, subscribe, all the fun YouTube stuff. Check out the channel for more gameplay reviews, etc. I got that. Of course, keep an eye out for when we get big old fun bags. Big old fun bags. And Kevin might actually stream it. I might stream it. I don't have my streaming set up at all, but Kevin might be streaming it. Kevin will be streaming it.
Check me out. Brown Lightning.
Brown Lightning. Is it just Brown Lightning?
It's just Brown Lightning.
Brown Lightning. It's like BR like WN underscore.
BRWN underscore Lightning. Check me out.
Yeah. I'll probably, if I'm not a piece of shit, link down below to his Twitch. You should start streaming soon. Like upcoming games, Friday the 13th. Look for it.
I will be streaming Friday the 13th here in 5 days when that releases.
Bam.
I'm actually looking forward to that.
Yeah. So as always, we're going to come back over to Gaming House. More gameplay, commentary.